Hello and welcome back to the Quilter's Candy Shop. We are so glad that you are here with us today. We are continuing on with our Rainy Days Quilt Sew Along. It is this beautiful quilt right here, and we have been working on just a garden of flowers, and they're turning out beautifully. It's not too late to join our Sew Along. You're never behind on a Sew Along on YouTube because the videos will be up forever, so you are where you are, watch at your convenience, and just keep stitching. The only thing required to join our Sew Along is the purchase of the pattern. We have these back in stock. If you've been on our website looking, they are back in stock now, and you can pick them up for $10. They're usually $12. We have them for $10 at thequilterscandyshop.com. That's SHOPPE.com. You can pick up your pattern or a kit for anything you need to finish out your quilt. Last week we put together our daisy, and I chose to make all 4 of my daisies the same. So I think it turned out really cute with this plaid and the little pink center. But the nice thing about this quilt is you can make yours however you want. So we are going on to week 7. Can you believe it? We are more than halfway through our Sew Along, and we're going to be working on our 6th block today. And our 6th block is this one right here. It's called the Clover. It is back to the original leaves with the 2 leaves straight across from each other. It's got a little green bottom to connect to the stem, and then 3 colors. Now you can do these 3 colors in whatever color you like. This is really adorable where it's got the light blue, the pink, and the yellow, which really fits with the spring pastel. But if you wanted to make yours shades of pink or blue or even green, yellow, whatever you like, or mix it up a little bit, do the dark at the top and go lighter to the bottom. That's completely up to you. That's where the creative part comes in and makes your quilt unique. So before we go on to choosing fabric, I have a big announcement. We have picked out our next Sew Along that will start shipping at the end of March, and we will begin sewing in April. I'm so excited about it. The pattern we're going to be using is called Basket Full of Blessings by Wendy Shepherd. She is a very prolific pattern designer, and she does the most super cute things. I think these are adorable. We've got these little stars in the baskets, so it's going to be fun. We also have quilt kits for this, and here they are. We're doing 3 colorways. The first colorway is, this one is called Blueberry Sherbet. It is navy is the main color. The accent color is these corally sherbets and some brown caramelly browns that look really great. The background color for this is on white, and it looks really beautiful. The navy is clean and bright, and so the white looks absolutely fantastic with it. The second colorway available is what we're calling Forest Truffle, and it is a gorgeous dark sort of pine green with the accent color of these browns and caramels, and it just comes out really, really pretty. I love this combination, and I'm not usually a green fan, but I think this is gorgeous. The background color on this one is cream, and it's going to look just so super. And then the third colorway is the one I'm very excited about. I think this is the one I'm going to make, is White Chocolate. It has a beautiful mix of vanillas and creams and lattes, and it is going to be set on a dark brown. So it's going to be a reverse of the pattern. So the baskets will be like white and cream wicker baskets on a dark brown wood porch. Those are the 3 colors available as a kit in our shop. But as usual, you can choose other fabrics from our store, or even shop from your own stash. The only requirement is that you purchase the pattern. If you buy one of our kits, the pattern is included for free. Otherwise, the pattern will be for sale individually at the Quilter's Candy Shop. Here we are, flower number 6, the Clover, and we are going to make 3 of these. This is going to be such a simple flower for you guys. It's going to be a great week for you to get caught up. So I'm making mine with these cute red to pink. So I'm going to make a little crimson clover. The clover comes in so many colors. You can choose whatever color you want, and they will look fantastic. One thing to note on this pattern, there is an error again in the layout when you go to put your leaves together. This piece is labeled as I, but it is J. And just like before, this section is labeled properly. So when you get everything cut out and you're sewing and you go to assemble your blocks, don't use this layout. Use this layout to get your pieces in the right place. I went ahead and changed these 2 letters to J, and I recommend you do the same on your pattern. Let's get our pieces cut out, and then we'll be in the clover. All right, here I have got all of my pieces cut out for the clover. I'm really excited. I think this is turning out really cute already, and I haven't sewn a stitch. Okay, we're going to be making 3 blocks, so that means you need to take the number indicated and multiply by 3 so that you have enough pieces to assemble your 3 blocks. So you're going to need 3 of A, B, C, D, and E. You're going to need 6F because that's the leaf. On the backgrounds, multiply it by 3 so you have enough of these. Let's get to sewing something sweet. All right, here I have put my clover together. Let's talk about the anatomy of the quilt block. This is basically a flying goose unit, but it is put together a little differently in this block. So make sure you follow along all the way to the end to get the best results. Of course, this leaf section you will recognize from our first block, the heart rose. It's exactly the same. So let's make a flower. All right, I have the whole flower basically laid out here, and I like to do this to make sure that I've got all of the pieces in the right places, and so far I think it looks great. This section here is the leaf section. You have already done this before. In fact, you've done this quite a few times. So go ahead and do your leaves and stem, and we'll come back and sew the clover. And here we are. Our leaf is done. This is the same leaf as the very first one, the heart rose. So if you have any questions on assembly, check out that video for details. Let's move on to the flower. Here is what the clover top looks like. I'm going to be sewing all of these one to each other, but you don't have to do it just one at a time. I'm going to first sew these 2 together. And I can sew these 2 together. Right, now we have 2 units here. And before I press, I'm going to sew these 2 units together. So there we go. I'm going to press these. Because we sewed all these 4 together, we can't really set the seam in the same way that we have before. But basically, we're going to press these all one direction. So I'm going to press mine all down, away from the light and towards the dark. And once I've got that basic press, which is kind of like setting the seam, now I'm going to give it a good press from the front. Look at that. Perfect. Now I'm just making one, but you're going to be making 3, and you can chain piece this and make all 3 of these sets at one time. So I have my Clover base ready to go, and the pattern indicates that we are going to be putting half square triangles around here in order to create the diamond shape. I have been using the diagonal seam tape, but this square is so big I won't be able to, if I put the square down, I can't see my diagonal seam. So I had to mark my pieces. So we're going to be using these stitch and flip triangles like this to create the clover. And we are going to follow the pattern directly. So you're going to put on this one and the opposite. And in both cases, when you go to press, you're going to press them out. You're going to trim it before we come back to do the opposite side. So we'll do this one first. Line everything up good and even, and then stitch a scant seam. Before I press this side, I'm going to go ahead and put the second one down over here. Everything's lined up. Now, before we press these, I want to show you, you have to sew from this side, and that's unfortunate because you have these seam allowances. So make sure you've got these pressed really well so they don't get in your way, and as you're sewing along here, just be mindful that those are tucked under in the right place so they don't get twisted. Now we're going to press these. Okay, set the seam. And these are going to press out. Just like flying geese, but we're really making 2 flying geese at once. We're doing the right side of both sides. And then when we put the other side on, we will have made our flying geese. Look at that. Looks good. Trim this up. Okay, now we'll put on the other 2 triangles. Because the shape of our clover, when you put this triangle on and line it up perfectly, you can see that this line is going to cross over here so that we have the seam allowance at the bottom. Don't worry about this crossing over, it's not meant to. Okay, let's sew this one on. Okay, before I press this side, I'm going to do my other corner. So I've got my good crossover here because this is the flying geese side, and then it just matches over here. Okay, set the seam. And press out. My gosh, this is so cute. Trim it up. And ta-da! There's my clover. Now I'm going to put the leaves to the bottom and we'll be done. Okay, I sewed my leaf to my clover. set the seam. And press it over. I have been pressing all of my stems away from my flowers, so I'm just going to go ahead and continue doing that just to be consistent. But you can do it either way. And as we talked about with the flying geese, anytime you have flying geese, because you have so much fabric, it's easiest to press away from that point. So that has worked out great. All right, here it is, our clover. Okay, so here is our field of clover, and I think it looks great. I'm really happy with the choices I made. I hope you're happy with the choices you made. And don't forget to join us next week, where we're going to do our last block of the flowers, the daffodil, and we'll be continuing on a couple more weeks where we're going to be discussing construction of the quilt top, as well as prepping it for a quilter, where we will have a guest. Debbie Record will be here to talk about prepping your quilt top for a long arm quilter. Join us next time. Bye.